Imagine a vehicle so tough that it survived being placed on top of a building that was demolished, was submerged in the ocean for hours, and still started up. No, we're not talking about a military tank or a sci-fi vehicle. We're talking about the legendary Toyota Hilux, a truck that has become a sci-fi vehicle. It has earned the nickname Indestructible for reasons that go beyond just marketing. But here's the biggest irony. This vehicle, loved in over 180 countries, is practically banned in one of the most important markets in the world, the United States. The reason is more complex than you might think. Before we dive into this mystery, we need to understand why the Hilux has become a living legend. It all started in the 1960s when Toyota decided to create a truck that could conquer any terrain, survive any climate, and keep running even in the most extreme conditions. If you've ever seen the famous episode of Top Gear, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jeremy Clarkson and his team put a Hilux with over 300,000 kilometers through a series of tests that looked like they were straight out of an action movie. They hit it with a wrecking ball, drowned it in the sea, crashed it into a tree, and even placed it on a building that they then demolished. The result: the truck kept starting up, no tricks, no special effects. This demonstration, although extreme, only confirmed what millions of people around the world already knew. The Hilux is practically indestructible. From the driest deserts of Africa to the frozen tundras of Iceland, the Hilux has earned its reputation through sheer grit. It's the favorite companion of farmers, construction workers, and builders. Builders, adventurers, and anyone who needs a vehicle they can trust their life with. Literally. But this reputation for durability and reliability makes its absence from the US market all the more intriguing. How is it possible that such a successful and respected vehicle cannot be sold in the land of opportunity? What mysterious forces keep the indestructible, corruptible outside of American roads? Have you ever thought that a dispute over chickens could change the history of the automotive industry? Sounds absurd, right? Well, get ready, because you are about to learn one of the most peculiar stories in international trade. It was the 1960s, the golden age of the American economy. American farmers had perfected the art of raising chickens efficiently and economically. So much so that American chicken was flooding European markets at unbeatable prices. Europe, feeling threatened, it imposed tariffs on the country. American chicken. President Lyndon B. Johnson didn't just sit back and do nothing. In 1963, he signed what would become one of the most controversial tariffs in history: a 25% tax on imported light trucks. Yes, you heard that right, trucks, not chickens, not farms, but trucks. This tariff, ironically nicknamed the chicken tax, had a clear objective: to hit countries like Germany where it hurt the most, which at the time was exporting the popular Volkswagen Type 2 pickup trucks to the United States. But what no one anticipated was the long-term impact it would have on the global automotive market. Imagine this: if a Toyota Hilux has a base price of $25,000, the chicken tax automatically adds $6,250 more. And that's before state taxes, shipping, and any other additional costs. Suddenly, a truck designed to be affordable turns into an unnecessary luxury. Toyota, like many other manufacturers, found itself faced with an impossible dilemma. Either they raised prices to uncompetitive levels or they left the US light truck market. The decision was different. Instead of giving up, Toyota did something brilliant. They developed a new truck specifically for the American market. One that would be manufactured on American soil, thus dodging the infamous tax. This truck would be called the Tacoma, and it would forever change the landscape of midsize trucks in the United States. But the chicken tax didn't just affect the ELUG luxury. It created an invisible barrier that has kept dozens of popular models in the rest of the world out of the US market. Think about all the options that American consumers have never been able to consider. The most surprising thing about all this is that, although the original dispute over chickens was resolved decades ago, the tax is still in place, like a legislative fossil that keeps shaping today's automotive market. But the chicken tax was just the first hurdle. The real story of why the Hilux can't conquer American roads goes way beyond just a simple tax. If the Hilux is the indestructible world warrior, the Tacoma is its American sister, raised on hamburgers and rock and roll. But this story goes beyond just a simple name change. It's the story of how Toyota adapted to the demanding US market, creating something completely new in the process. It was the year 1995. Toyota was at a crossroads. The chicken tax made it impossible to import the Hilux, but abandoning the lucrative US truck market wasn't an option. The solution: to create a truck specifically designed to meet American tastes, needs, and regulations. But what makes the Tacoma so different from the Hilux? Imagine two twin sisters raised on different continents. Although they share Toyota DNA, each developed its own personality. The Tacoma was designed with the average American driver in mind. On average, while the Hilux is marketed worldwide, with options for both single and double cabs, the Tacoma went all in on the double cab. What's the reason? The average American isn't just looking for a work tool. They want a versatile vehicle that works for both work and family. The design also tells a different story. The Tacoma boasts a boxier, more rugged look, aligning with the American taste for imposing pickups. The Hilux, instead, it maintains a more aerodynamic and practical profile, designed for markets where fuel consumption is a primary concern. But the biggest difference is in the interior. The Tacoma is equipped with features that American buyers consider essential. Better soundproofing, more sophisticated entertainment systems, and more refined finishes. The Hilux, while robust and reliable, maintains a more utilitarian focus. As for power, Toyota knew that the American market has an insatiable thirst for large engines, while the Hilux focuses on series engines. Efficient diesels popular in the rest of the world, the Tacoma was developed with powerful gasoline engines, more in line with American preferences. But here's where it gets interesting. The Tacoma not only met expectations, it exceeded them. It became the undisputed queen of mid-sized trucks in the United States, creating its own legend. A different legend from the Hilux, but equally respectable. And while many enthusiasts dream of seeing the Hilux on American roads, the reality is that Toyota has accomplished something extraordinary, creating two distinct vehicles that dominate in their respective fields. Markets. The Tacoma isn't just an Americanized Hilux. It's its own entity, designed and refined for a unique market. But the story doesn't end here, because while the Tacoma solved the chicken tax issue, there was another, bigger obstacle waiting: the strict US safety regulations. And this is where the real controversy begins. The irony is almost poetic: a vehicle famous for surviving the most extreme tests, unable to pass American safety tests. But how can it be that the destructible Hilux has safety issues? In the world of vehicle safety, the United States plays in a different league. It's not enough to be tough, you have to be safe. And this is where the Hilux faces its biggest challenge: the tendency to roll over. Imagine for a moment a winding road. The Hilux, with its higher center of gravity and off-road oriented design, faces a greater risk of tipping over during sudden maneuvers. For the US market, where manufacturer liability lawsuits can cost millions, this is an unacceptable risk. The agency that regulates vehicle safety in the United States has some of the strictest standards in the world. Their tests include frontal impacts at different speeds, side impacts at various angles, rollover tests, passenger restraint systems, and an endless list of technical specifications and additional technical details. The ILUX, designed for global markets with different standards, would need a complete re-engineering to comply with these regulations. We are not talking about small adjustments, but rather fundamental changes in its design and structure. But here's the idea. Here comes the most interesting part. The ILUX is not necessarily less safe than other vehicles. It's just different. It is designed to survive in conditions where other vehicles can't even reach. Think of rural Australia, the deserts of Africa, or the mountains of South America. In these environments, toughness and the ability to survive are critical aspects of safety. The ILUX is built to keep its occupants safe in situations where assistance can be of help. Could be days away. It's a different philosophy of safety, one that prioritizes durability and reliability over protection in urban crashes. This fundamental difference in understanding vehicle safety illustrates a broader truth. There is no universal standard for what makes a vehicle safe. What's safe in Manhattan might not be safe in the Australian outback, and vice versa. Toyota could, theoretically, redesign the Hilux to meet US standards. But this would mean compromising many of the features that make the Hilux great. A Hilux, it would be like asking an ultramarathon runner to train for a sprint competition. Possible, but at the cost of losing its unique strengths. And this is where we reach a fascinating crossroads. Why does Toyota maintain two separate production lines? Why not create a single vehicle that satisfies all markets? The answer takes us to explore the deep differences between the US market and the rest of the world. Have you ever wondered why Americans are obsessed with huge pickups, while in other countries people prefer smaller vehicles? The answer to this question is key to understanding why the Hilux, despite its global success, has never found its place in the American market. Imagine for a moment three completely different scenarios: a ranch in Texas, a farm in Australia, and a construction site in Dubai. Three places, three different needs, and yet, outside of the United States, the Hilux is the answer for all of them. In the United States, the pickup market is unique in the world. Here, these vehicles are not just work tools, they are status symbols. The Ford F-150, the Chevrolet Silverado, and the Ram 500 are not just trucks. They are lifestyle statements. American buyers look for luxurious interiors that rival premium sedans, powerful V6 or V8 engines, the latest in infotainment technology, huge cargo spaces, and of course, an impressive aspect. Now, let's travel to the rest of the world. In Australia, Latin America, or Africa, buyers look for fuel efficiency, durability, ease of repair, and transport capacity. A true all-terrain vehicle with a manageable size for older cities and narrow roads, and above all, with absolute reliability. The Hilux has become the best-selling truck in over 180 countries precisely because it understands these global needs. In these markets, a truck doesn't need to be luxurious, it needs to be unstoppable. The numbers speak for themselves. While in the United States you might find around 700 different crossover models, there are only 3 options in the midsize truck segment. In the world, the variety is greater, but because different markets have different needs. And here is the greatest irony. While Americans dream of the legendary durability of the ILU, the rest of the world looks on in awe at the luxury and power of American pickups. It is a classic case of El Pasto, it is always greener. On the other side, in Latin America, for example, the Hilux is the preferred vehicle for both work and personal use. It's not uncommon to see a Hilux both on a construction site and in the parking lot of a fancy restaurant. Versatility is its middle name. This divide in market preferences is not just about taste. It is a reflection of deeply rooted economic and cultural realities. Fuel prices, infrastructure, and energy quality, road, environmental regulations, and even local traditions play a crucial role. Rumors and speculations have been circulating non-stop. Toyota has been seriously considering reintroducing the Hilux to the US market, but this time with an unexpected twist. A completely revamped version that could change the game. Imagine, for a moment, a Hilux of the future, equipped with a third-generation diesel engine, more efficient and powerful than ever. An engine that would not only meet strict US environmental regulations, but would also offer the Hilux's equipment. Perfect balance between performance and economy that modern buyers are looking for. Will we ever see the legendary Hilux on US roads? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, if there's a truck that can overcome any obstacle, it's the Toyota Hilux. After all, they don't call it indestructible for nothing.